How's it going, everybody? I hope you guys will enjoy that really quick 10-second introduction and got to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of who helps me out. I got my awesome cats, Cece and Pikachu. They help me with my channel. And so big shout out to these guys for helping me. And we're going to be talking about my personal favorite Christmas movie ever, The Polar Express, starring, of course, with the phenomenal voice acting of Tom Hanks. And as always, we're going to talk about positives and negatives, guys, and then we'll give you guys my final review score. So I am really, really stoked to finally be able to talk to you guys about the Polar Express. This is an awesome movie. So this movie came out in 2004. It is rated G, and I just I'm so geeked to finally talk to you guys about this. I know I'm geeking out right now, but I am so stoked to finally bring you guys my review of this film. This is a movie I've wanted to talk about for a long time. I ended up not getting a chance to talk about this movie on my Facebook channel, and I decided, you know what? Let's finally talk about it here on YouTube and get it out to you guys for the holiday season. So, first of all, I'm a big geek. I'm a big nerd when it comes to the Polar Express. And you know what's really interesting is that at the time of recording this video here in 2020, that it has been 16 years and they have not attempted to make a sequel, a prequel, a show, or anything. This is a hour and 40-minute long adventure. It has a beginning, it has a big middle, and it has an ending. And this movie is self-contained. It doesn't need anything extra, and I love that. And it's something that honestly is missing from today's Hollywood standards of making films. Everything has to have a sequel, a prequel, and a show, and this and that. I'm like, whatever happened to making just a good movie stand on its own 2 feet? And the Polar Express is able to accomplish that. I own several geeky things from the Polar Express. I have a bunch of the Polar Express bells that you can put on your Christmas tree. They've made a couple like short stories about the book, and this is actually based on a childhood book by Chris Van Allsburg. And I've even gotten to be on the Polar Express itself. They had a special screening of it when it was first coming out, and they had this big. I was able to go to this special theater, and they had this thing, a little gift shop where you get the Polar Express bells. You could actually go on the Polar Express train, an actual locomotive train, and they slapped the Polar Express on it, of course. But it also had on the inside, it had certain rooms on the train, and they were sets reconstructed from the movie. And I was like, you actually got to be on the Polar Express if you went to the special theater for a special screening of the Polar Express when this movie came out in 2004. And so I have a fond memory of doing that. It was really a great time, and I've enjoyed watching Polar Express. I honestly don't think the Polar Express gets enough love. I think the Polar Express gets hate because, oh, it's another Christmas movie with, you go into the North Pole and meeting Santa Claus, and, oh, belief. And I'm like, if you're just completely locked into thinking Christmas movies are all just about a Christmas Carol, or it's a Miracle on 34th Street, if you're thinking those movies are the only Christmas movies on the planet, whatever. But this is a Christmas movie. Not like Rise of the Guardians. That's not a Christmas movie. It has Christmas elements, but it's not focused on Christmas. This movie focuses on Christmas, and I love it. This is my favorite Tom Hanks movie of all time. Now, I'm sure the comment section is going to hate me for saying that statement, and they're like, no, Forrest Gump is the best Tom Hanks movie, or, I just drew a mental blank. What's that one movie where he's trapped on the island? Let me know in the comment section. I'm drawing a mental blank. That's really horrible. But this is my favorite Tom Hanks movie of all time, based on a child's book, and it's basically about a young boy, and he doubts everything about Christmas. And he basically ends up getting taken on this extraordinary train ride on board the Polar Express to the North Pole. This film is filled with a journey of self-discovery, learning about the wonder of life, friendship, love. There's tons of mystery, fear, and most importantly, this film focuses on one key aspect: the power of belief. Do you believe? Also, highly encourage you guys to watch this movie in widescreen format for the best screen quality. The widescreen, it just helps zoom in. It makes the picture quality a lot better than full screen. With widescreen, there's actually moments where it'll zoom in on certain key aspects that full screen won't, and it helps just bring out more detail of the film. Fabulous casting, of course, including Tom Hanks, and also another voice actor that I didn't recognize was in here until I actually decided to do this review was Josh Hutcherson. I think I said his last name right, and he played PETA in the Hunger Games movies. Some of the songs of the film are decent, but there's others that are just mind-blowingly awesome, especially the hot chocolate scene. It just adds to the magic of the film without making the film a musical. So let me stress this: there is some singing in this movie, but it's not a musical. It's not like a Disney Frozen thing. It's just cool and unique aspects. And of course, the Polar Express theme song is an 11 out of 10. Fabulous. I just love listening to that on a loop. This film also has a bunch of famous movie quotes in it that 16, 17 years later, I still can remember some of them, and I enjoy it when people say these famous quotes, especially like, there's no greater gift than friendship. I believe. Seeing is believing. And then the final line in the film is so powerful once you've seen the movie from start to finish. I love this line. It is just pure magic. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as for all who truly believe. I've watched this movie 100 times, guys. I'm 26, and I've watched this movie 100 plus times, and I still enjoy it, even though I'm much older than I was when I watched this. This is a fun family movie that even adults can enjoy. This film also, for the fact that it came out in 2004, has some of the best animation and CGI work for that time, and it still holds up. This movie is 16, 17 years old at the time of you guys watching this video, and it still holds up. The animation and CGI is still good. It's not garbage like some of the other films that started with animation and CGI back then. It's just top level. It's next level. Just amazingly well done work. The characters, they range from likable to obnoxious and unlikable, and it gives the film multiple characters, different tones, and different arcs that you can watch grow and expand throughout the movie. This film also has just a great mixture of magic, humor, and scary moments of both tension and danger. And lastly, I just want to stress for the fact that this is honestly one of the best Christmas movies ever. Compared to a lot of the recent stuff that has come out in the past couple of years, this is one of the best Christmas movies ever. It remains a amazing and unique childhood Christmas movie that I can't stress enough for everybody to see at least once before you pass away. And I hope that in the future, the Polar Express will go down not only as a amazing Christmas movie, but as a classic, and people 50, 100, 200 years from now will still want to watch the Polar Express. I hope that it gets the love that films like A Christmas Carol or A White Christmas gets today. I hope Polar Express in the future gets the exact same treatment. However, there are a couple negatives that I want to address. I hate that I have to do this in this film review, but I have to do it as is. First of all, the sound can be odd. The quick jumping from the opening part of the movie where it's really soft and then it slowly builds up to medium sounding and then it goes soft and then it's just boom, the train shows up and the volume just shoots up without you ever controlling it. And then it goes right back down to quiet and medium, quiet, loud, and you constantly are having to have your hand on the volume clicker constantly while you're watching this, so that way you can hear dialogue and enjoy action moments without blowing out your eardrums. So, I mean, it's good quality for audio, but it's really bonkers how that happens. Some moments towards the film's conclusion can feel dragged on in order for the film to make a decent runtime for at least 90 minutes. So do keep that in mind that the finale, the more I've watched it, the more the finale just seems like a drag to me the older I've gotten. It didn't bug me when I was younger because it was so memorized by all the magical stuff happening. But now that I'm older and I'm more of a critic of movies, I can honestly say the finale, the last 20, 30 minutes of the movie, can feel dragged on forever, especially when they get to the North Pole. They're exploring the North Pole in so much detail that I don't care. I want them to get to meeting Santa Claus. And then also there are an abundant amount of scenes in this movie that honestly are unrealistic. I get this as a magical experience and it may be a dream or whatever, but there are some things in this movie that are just completely unrealistic. Like, for example, the train becoming a roller coaster when it's going up this hill and it does a 179-degree drop and then it goes up. Like, what the heck is keeping that train on the train tracks without it going whee into outer space? there's nothing holding that train down except, I guess, the power of belief and maybe magic. But in the real world, that train would never be able to do a 179-degree drop, survive that, and then also constantly deal with all these up and down hill movements and go left and right and stay on the tracks. Like, I don't understand why they thought that trying to make the Polar Express into a roller coaster halfway through the movie was a good idea. But trains cannot be roller coasters, especially at that speed and especially at that height. Okay? So, with that, guys, though, I highly encourage you guys check out the Polar Express if you guys haven't. I love this movie, and I hope that if you guys haven't had a chance to, make sure you guys check it out this holiday season. You won't regret it. You will enjoy it. I enjoyed watching this movie on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, and of course digital. And I strongly recommend you guys watch this movie. If you guys have seen it, let me know. Do you guys still enjoy watching this movie 16, 17 plus years later? Or do you guys just like watch it whenever? Is it not all that big and impressive to you as it is to me? Let me know in the comments section. With that, I'm giving the Polar Express a 9.8 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys all have a fabulous day. And I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whether it be here on YouTube or Twitch at Douglas447. Bye, guys.